So my name's Duncan Griffin. I work with Power Framework. I'm a solutions architect here, and I really just help organizations deploy project, program, and portfolio management solutions using Microsoft technology. That's all I do. So that's my main focus. And so everyone kind of thinks I'm probably in a good place to talk to you guys and just give you an idea of some of the efficiencies, some of the things you can do with Microsoft Planner in order to manage projects more effectively using Microsoft tools. So just a tiny bit of background on us. So Power Framework, we basically offer PPM solutions and risk management solutions based on Microsoft technology. So everything runs within your Microsoft 365 environment. So at its heart of that, especially on PPM side, on the project portfolio management side, is projects or plans, as Microsoft now like to call them. And so, I've been asked the question, why do we need smarter project management? So everyone on the call, if you're involved in project management, you probably get it, and understand some of the value. But some of the things that I really kind of think about when I'm putting together, project management plans is that I've got a better chance of getting to a destination, of achieving my goals, achieving the project objectives, if I've got a well-structured plan. And it's not that that plan is ever executed. It's like if you've got a plan, you've got some guardrails around the direction of travel and something to change. It's also a lot better for visibility. It's a lot easier to share with your stakeholders. If you've got some tasks, some activity structured around the project, it's quite easy to kind of share out and make sure that people have got access to it. It's a lot more effective if people know ahead of time that they're required to work on projects. So resource allocation is kind of key, just from getting engagement. But when organizations have got a lot of projects, it's so much more important that everybody understands not only their commitments, but the prioritization of those commitments, because quite often there's conflicts. Collaboration is at the key, I think, of project management. I think, quite often we're bringing together people who work in silos, and having great tools like Teams and Planner can really help bring people together in order to support execution of projects. Having visibility of what's coming up ahead really can help with early identifications of delays and bottlenecks. And the last one, I think this kind of works way outside project management. I think ownership really helps with execution. If people know what they're responsible for, they're more likely to kind of pick it up and run with it. So that's really why we need smarter project management. And hopefully in this session, I'm going to show you how you can get that done with Planner. But to really get smarter, I think we look at some of the future stuff that Microsoft's doing, and this is how we need smarter project management with AI. And this is really where Microsoft are really heavily investing in providing, whether it's copilots, assistants, or agents that can work with us, and can really support us in execution of standard business activities and project management. If you guys have managed projects before, you know that there is some administration burden involved in that, and any support we can get with that is really, really great. So some of the things I'll be able to show you how you can get some of the automated planning done. So kind of maybe doing task decomposition using Copilot. How you can prioritize more effectively is something that Microsoft's interested in. Getting insights and analytics from detailed data sets is definitely something that Microsoft are really trying to power using their copilots and agents. And as I kind of mentioned at the top, that reduced administrative burden, so if AI is making sure that people are notified, or even picking up some of the reporting requirements, then that can really help. So I'll show you what some of those things do. Okay. So just for context, let's show what Microsoft have been doing in the work management space. As I kind of said, I'm talking more around plans, and that's because Microsoft have been bringing a lot of their work management tools under one umbrella, and you've probably seen this in your Microsoft 365 environments. So things, personal task management was to do, localized team task management, which was Microsoft Planner, and probably more, more structured projects with dependencies and work breakdown structures in Microsoft Project for the web. And Microsoft basically thought, well, we can probably do a better job here by bringing those together in order to give a more unified experience for people working on projects, so team members and project managers building out projects. If we can build it out into, maybe a single unified interface, it'll be a better experience for their customers. So they kind of reframed those products back into Microsoft Planner, which is meant to be that simple, flexible, scalable, and intelligent with AI place to go to get things done. And that's what we're really kind of focusing on in this webinar. So, so when we're talking about to-do, planner, and project for the web, we're now talking about personal plans, Planner Basic, and Planner Premium. Okay, and Microsoft are really kind of reframing projects as plans. So, I'll try and keep to that terminology as we go through this session. Now you can see in the session here on the slide, I've got links to some of Microsoft's core data on this. And like I said, I will be sharing the slides, and so you can go off and have a look at the detail behind it. But I kind of think a little bit more context and then some demonstration will probably put us in a good place to really understand how we can do things better with Planner. So last bit on what the kind of differences between these is just talking around where Microsoft sees their general positioning. So Microsoft Project, so the desktop tool, if you're using it now, it's not going anywhere. Its cloud variant, so Project Online, is going away. That's going to be, it's got an end of life of September 2026. And so we found quite a few of our customers who've been using Microsoft Project and Project Online, looking for, how they can get those things done using like Microsoft's more modern work management tools, so Planner, and we've really kind of found a lot of customers coming back to us over the last month or so in trying to basically work out a step ahead to what they're going to do going forward. But just for context, I've left it in here so people who are aware of what Microsoft Project does, you've got an idea of what you do differently in some of the other variants of Planner. So Planner Basic is definitely target use is team level, simple task tracking, whereas Planner Premium is definitely for your larger projects where you want specific project management functionality that you'd expect. So the ability to add more controlled dependencies, assignments, work breakdown structure, that sort of thing. And the main difference that you'll see between Planner and Planner Premium, it's not anymore the application. So the application is the same. It's the licensing. Okay, so you get Planner Basic with your standard. It's in most Microsoft 365 plans, whether you're on an E3, E3, E5, or one of the education SKUs or any other SKUs, but it's in most of the Microsoft 365 plans. Whereas to use the functionality I kind of show with Planner Premium, it requires a specific project or planner license, and they kind of start from Planner Plan 1 and go up. So I'm going to kind of step you through what you can do with these different tools. And first off, what can we do with Planner Basic? So it's a pretty kind of basic, scheduling tool. You can, if you've got an Office 365 license, then you'll be able to create and update and access plans. So whether you're the project manager or a team member, you've got the same functionality, you've got the same access, the same ability using the tool, as you access it. Now, I've got a couple of demonstration environments that I'll be using when I'm kind of running through these. And so I'm just going to jump to that now and just open, a basic planner. So if I've gone to Planner Cloud at Microsoft, and hopefully you may have had access to this already. You might have already logged on and had access to it. But just to kind of show you what this looks like, when people log in here, they'll have access to all of the plans that they've been shared. They have shared, whether they've created them themselves or they've been shared with them, and they've got the ability to create new plans. When you create new plans, it will give you the ability to create the plans that you're licensed for, and so basic plans or premium plans. Or I'll show you later on how you can create plans with Copilot if you've got a specific Copilot license. And I have that in a separate demonstration environment just so I can show you the difference. So if I'm creating a basic plan, I'm going to use templates when I'm creating plans, just so you can kind of see the different. And you can see that, for instance, if I was going to create an employee onboarding plan, I can create a basic plan or a premium plan, and they can have a different look and feel depending of when I create it. And then from an access perspective, where it says part of the team, when I do create a project and use a template here, I've got the ability to add it to a Microsoft team. So here I'd be adding it to my PMO team, for instance, and I might also want to pin it onto my list of projects. So I've got employee premium. I'm going to call this my basic demo, so I can see that when it's created. So that's what it looks like when I create a basic planner. I'm going to come back to this when I kind of go through a little bit more of the functional sort of demonstration. Now, if I just go back to the slides and kind of step up from Planner Basic and say, okay, well, what's the next version up? The next version up is Planner Premium. So accessing any of these, if you want to create plans, you require either a Planner Plan 1 or a Project and Planner Plan 3 license. And as you can see in the bottom here, I've got a link in the slide deck, so you can go in and see what's the difference between those different variants, functionally. But what you'll see is, if you're just a team member, so included in standard Office 365 license or Microsoft 365 licenses, you can go in and update your tasks and update your plans when you're part of the team. So this is a massive shift in collaboration functionality from Microsoft from when it was Microsoft Project, which you needed a Microsoft Project license in order to access and view the Microsoft plan. So this has really kind of put all planner plans, whether they're basic or premium, it made them all accessible to everybody within your Microsoft 365 tenant. And then the difference of functionality that's accessible by licenses, it really is for people who can kind of create and then work on larger parts of the projects. And so I'll kind of show you what that lead looks like as well. So you can see there's a lot of functional differences here between what you can do with a Planner Plan 1 and a Project and Planner Plan 3 license. I typically say that, if you just want to create pretty simple projects, maybe with some simple dependencies, so, start to finish dependencies, then, maybe a Planner Plan 1 license is fine. But if you really want, to be able to control and maybe govern your project and access things like baselines and critical path, then this is where Microsoft basically thinks that you're more of a strong project manager, and you'd require a project and planner plan 3 license. And that's what I'm going to be demonstrating as part of this demonstration, just to show you what that will look like. So if I go back to my demonstration environment, where I've just created an employee onboarding basic plan, and we can see that here, and we'll come back and we'll have a look at what that functionality looks like in a second. I can also come back in here and create another new plan. I can use templates, and I can go down here and say, okay, well, employee onboarding, let's look at a premium template and see what that gives us. So I'm going to use that template. I'm just going to call it premium demo. And again, I'm going to add it to my PIN plans, and I'm going to associate it to my PMO team. Okay, so it's created, a more functional rich project. If I'm looking at, I'm going to open this in another tab, so I've got both of them open. So the basic one, you can see that I've got access to a grid, board, and a schedule view. Whereas in the premium one, I've got a grid, board, a timeline view, report, and a few other tabs as well. So it's definitely more functionally rich. So what I'm going to do, in order to show you some of the differences in functionality, I'm going to step through the key kind of components of building an effective plan in both of these tools. So, this is what I kind of call planning the work. I was always kind of taught in order to manage a plan, you need to first plan the work, and I think it gives you a good concrete foundation in order to kind of see where things are changing throughout project delivery, and having that kind of distinct phase between planning and executing a project. I think is probably good, good hygiene. It's a good process to follow. So when I'm creating a project, I've got a couple of options out of the box. I can either use a Microsoft template, as I've just shown you in the demonstration, or in both of these cases, I can copy an existing plan. So if you've got a standard way of delivering a project, you don't need to start with a Microsoft template. You can do the same thing by just copying your last project, and it'll just delete out all the progress, all the assignments, and allow you to associate it maybe to a different Microsoft 365 team. But then you've got the ability to start creating your tasks within the project. And then you'll see that within Planner Premium, I've got the ability to do quite a few other things that would help me build a kind of well-structured plan within Planner Premium. So that's things like creating dependencies, looking at the critical tasks within the project to see where I've got maybe issues of concern, maybe review the workload across the team, and then baseline the plan, and baseline the plan, some new functionality that Microsoft have put in. But it really helps you as a project manager then kind of see what's happened in between various times of going in and kind of like reforecasting the future plan. So I'll kind of show you what those things look like. So again, if I kind of jump back to the demonstration, I've got my basic plan here. You can see that I can access that in a grid view, and I do have the ability to assign some of these tasks to people who are within the team, and I do have the ability to maybe set some due dates on these activities. And if something is in the past, you can see that it does basically provide me with some insights to say, look, actually, this is in red. It hasn't happened, and it hasn't been marked complete, and it's in the past. So that's probably something that we should be concerned about. So getting those insights is really kind of useful in either application. So I've built out some tasks here, and then I've also got the ability to then view this in my kind of grid view, or I've got the ability to view this in a kind of board view. Typically, we kind of recommend kind of using the boards around phases of the projects or work streams within the project. So you can almost use this to make sure that maybe everybody within, if someone it takes a role within a particular team, then it's kind of easy to find and assign the resources that way. So that allows me to kind of build up a kind of schedule that which we're going to then start managing against. You can see when you kind of build in the task, you've got the ability to put additional information in, like checklists and notes, and that can really help you kind of build a structured plan without going into too much detail in one place. So rather than having like task creep where you end up putting endless number of tasks in there, you can keep it pretty condensed. If I go to the premium plan, you'll see there's a lot more information that I've got the ability to look at. The first thing is that I can see that my project is kind of broken down into a more traditional kind of like work breakdown structure. I've got summary tasks and I've got tasks, and then within that I can then also put like some milestones. And these really help, when it comes to reporting, and then the other big difference is that within the timeline view, you'll see that you're able to basically put in there dependencies. So I can say, actually, I can create a simple dependency between a couple of activities. So one follows the other, or I could potentially say that these two activities could start at the same time. So by going to task information, I could go in and actually say that this is more of a start-to-start activity. Both of these things could happen at the same time. I can also add lag and lead. I can say that actually, this can start maybe 5 days before the next activity. So all of these, actually I'm going to put that as lag. So 5 days after is when this is going to start. So I've got the ability to put in, complex dependencies. I've also got the ability to kind of change the duration here. And at the moment I am just looking at the kind of duration, but I could say that, for instance, just looking at this project, it's going to take me, maybe like a week to get this stuff done. And then maybe down here, I'm thinking these background checks are going to take, additional time as well. So I can build out, some changes in dates quite easily just using the views. And I can also, start assigning things out to resources. So again, and on both of these applications, on Premium and on Basic, notifications are included kind of like out of the box. So as people are assigned to projects, they're automatically going to receive like notifications. So it's really kind of useful to keep people informed on what's going on. Now, as I kind of mentioned in the premium version, on the timeline view, I've also got the ability to do things like show critical tasks. And showing critical tasks is really important because I can then go through the project and see where I do have the ability to let things slip without affecting anything, and areas where if I do change things, even by a couple of days, it's going to affect the actual delivery of the project. So critical views, again, these are things that they're available in Planner Premium, but only really with a Plan 3 license. The last thing you kind of do once you've kind of created your project and you expect people to go off and start updating things, I kind of recommend is then creating a baseline, because creating a baseline, so hang on a second, so I'm just going to, so creating a baseline, I'm going to call this, kickoff. Creating a baseline basically means that from that point onwards, any changes that happen to the project, I'll be able to see. And I think this is really important for people who've maybe moved from using Microsoft Project to using something like Planner Premium, because what we've done by sharing this project is we've allowed everybody who's part of this team to come in and update their own tasks. And me being the project manager, I'm not going to be informed of that on a daily basis. I'm not going to get any automated notifications to say that people have updated stuff and it's had an impact. But I can come back and view those impacts anytime I want using the baseline. So I almost recommend, well, I'll show you what I recommend when I go through working the plan. So we've gone through a very high level and just said, like, okay, what's it look like creating a plan in Planner Basic and Planner Premium? And the next step is really kind of, working the plan. Now, everybody who's a member of that team will be able to access and update the tasks, irrespective if it's been a basic or a premium plan, okay? But within the premium plan, you'll be able to, a project manager would be able to have more governance and more control of the project, because they can go in and they can view changes in the baseline, and they can view changes that have happened by looking at the task history. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So as far as accessing the plan, it's really kind of nice from as a team member. So if I'm just putting on my team member hat, I can go into my plans. I can see all the plans that I have been made a member of because I'm a member of PFPMO. I can also, I can also access all the plans, and I can update my tasks. So I can go in and maybe use one of the board views. I could maybe use I could filter it for my tasks, and I could go to maybe group by progress, and I could use this to start, moving my tasks along and saying what I've done. I can do that within the project, but I can also do that within my tasks view. Within my tasks view, I can see all tasks are assigned to me. Now, this brings together stuff that's assigned to me in Outlook. So it also brings stuff that's assigned to me in my personal tasks, and stuff that's assigned to me in Planner Basic projects or Planner Premium projects. So it gives me a kind of great view of all these different activities. And I can use that. So I can see all the employee onboarding premium demonstration tasks, and I can see the employee onboarding basic demo tasks. And again, I can use this view within my tasks to start progressing things and even marking things complete as I work through the project. I've also got the ability here to say, well, actually, it's a bit overwhelming, all the stuff I'm assigned, but I can come in here and I can focus on a couple of key things. So I can add things into my day. So I could say that this task here, the send a welcome email, that's something I want to get done today. And then maybe down here on the basic demo, schedule a meeting with team members. I want to get that done today as well. And so I've just tagged a couple of things as to do today. And then I can go to my day and it'll just basically show me those tasks in one place. So as a team member, it's really quite nice. I don't need to jump around all the projects. I can see all my tasks in one place and use this to, to help me kind of focus on getting things done within the day. The other thing around giving access to the projects via Teams is I can actually add this in Teams. So this is in Teams, this is the PFPMO team, and I've got the ability here to add those projects directly in here by using the Planner app. So if I just save the app in there, I can add an existing plan, look at my existing plan. So I've got my premium demo. I can add that to the channel. Let's just add the other one for comparison. And we'll just put the, did I put that? I can't remember which one I put here. So, let me just, I'm just going to put, I think I put the one, I'm going to put the basic one in. So in here, I've got, would be the basic one I put in twice. Here we go, just for comparison's sake, let's put the premium one in there. And I'll delete one of those. And so that basically means that people who are accessing the team and just working within teams, they've got the ability to come in here and work on the project directly, and not only that, they've also got the ability to start, like, maybe providing notes or feedback on the task as well. So there's great functionality around just sharing these projects. If I just put this, I did put the same one in twice. I'm so sorry about that. But you can put both of those projects in there separately. So you can go in here, access the projects, and just provide, great access for people who want to go in, maybe see updates in the project, who might not necessarily have any tasks associated to them. So Planner and Planner Premium have got really kind of like, strong functionality within, to help you kind of not only manage the projects, but then help get stuff done. So as far as executing the project, if I go back to Planner, you'll find that when people are updating their projects, within the basic project, you really have the ability to mark things of in progress or completed, so that's really how you kind of, march through the project and updating stuff. And as I had said before, if stuff is late, then you get some ability to basically get some highlights and maybe go and talk to those people. In a premium project, a lot of stuff can happen, so anybody who's licensed and got access can come in here and make updates. People who are assigned tasks and mark their task complete. So it may be a case that some of this happens, some of this stuff gets extended. It could be that from a timeline perspective, maybe some of this stuff kind of gets pushed out. So a lot of stuff can happen between, a project manager last visit to the project, but they've got the ability to use the baseline and compare all tasks. So in here, I can then see, where things have been slipping within my project. And where they have been slipping, I've got the ability to then to have a look at maybe the task information. So here, for instance, I could have a look at the task information on my milestones, which is split, and I can have a look at the history. And it basically says everything that's happened to it. So I can see, where dates have been impacted, and it's been impacted by a date change in register for onboarding. So I can go back and try and have, a conversation and see if I can sort things out. So there's great information available to help me execute and manage the project. I've also got the ability to access this information in Planner Premium in Power BI. So that basically means that I can access all task information. Bear with a second. So if I just click on this task here, so on this tasks or this milestones report, I've got the ability to look maybe across a whole set of projects and see where the milestones are, or potentially where all the tasks are, and see what's happened over a period, or just focus on significant events or significant projects. So all of the information from Planner Premium is available within Power BI for reporting. Now, just going to show you some features. So what Microsoft is doing to make project management smarter using Copilot. So if you've got Planner and Project Plan 3 and you have a Microsoft Copilot license, Microsoft are basically adding a project manager agent. It's in preview at the moment. There's some really good kind of functionality in there which shows you the direction of travel. It can really help you maybe automate plan generation. It can help you create status reports, and it can access your files and your data when it's kind of like creating and updating tasks. It can also do tasks on your behalf. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like, really kind of couple practical examples. So in this project here, the employee onboarding premium project, what I've got the ability to do is to come in here and click on reports, for instance, and I can say, look, can you generate a report? and it'll automatically just generate a report based on the current state of the data. So I can see all my tasks, what are complete. It gives me a highlight of the project, maybe some highlights and achievements. And it does this all automatically based on the project. So that the project which we put in and maybe updated, it's got the ability to then go in and then automatically generate this report. So and I can make some changes to this, like in text, and I could ask it to maybe discard it or regenerate it, based on a different set of data. So if you've got different reports that you require for different audiences, then some of that automated reporting can happen automatically. I mean, it's very emerging capabilities, but it's quite strong. The other thing it can do, it can really help in task execution. So here I've got a project for adding electric vehicle charging posts to the car park, and here I've defined the scope. And if we have a look at my board view, you'll see that here I've got the ability to look at the work that the project manager agent is doing, and you can see that the task that's that it's done. In there, you can see that it's actually gone away and worked on things on my behalf, which can help support the rest of the project execution. Just to give you an example of that, if I go back to my grid view, I think before I could select contract vendors for charging stations, I might want to just insert a task. Bear a second. Whereas compare key market suppliers for EV charging. Right, and then instead of assigning it to me, I can assign it to the project manager agent. And then if I go to the board view, you'll see that it's assigned to it and they're working on it. And so hopefully we'll be able to come back and find out what they suggest. Now, just to go back to my slides until it gets I get that notification, I think one of the key things to kind of just say again is, we really need strong plans. Having a plan in place is the best way to, ensure you actually end up achieving the outcomes or the objectives that you're investing in. That's why it's really kind of important. There's some really good quotes up there. I was like, plan the work the plan. That's what I've always been taught. But on top of the plan that schedules those tasks and activities, there's a lot more additional information that needs to be managed in order to affect solid project management execution. And for most organizations, it needs to be the orchestration not just of one project but a number of projects, which frames enterprise projects in general. And having strong project management for all projects means that you can really take advantage of joined up data to make effective decision making at the right place within the business. So our core solution is Power Framework PPM, and that's where we, alongside integrated plans, we also help organizations manage things like their RAID logs, their financial management, their demand management, so the resource management side, so that they can really have true effective PPM selection and governance across their portfolio. Our solution is completely built on Microsoft, so it's built on the Power Platform. It integrates with the work management tools that organizations already use, and it's really aimed to support organizations getting the maximum return on their Microsoft investment and keeping all their project management information within their Microsoft 365 platform. Now, what that looks like, well, we're still waiting for our project manager agent to finish his work. It's just an extension on what I've kind of shown you so far. So this is Power Framework PPM, and everything in here exists as a project plan, as a project. The projects are grouped into programs, the programs are grouped into portfolios. and like I kind of said, like, alongside every schedule, every work management plan that you still have access to, you can always go off and open that in Planner. But you've also got a project that's going through a life cycle. You've got a project that requires supporting project management documents to be created. You've got the management and execution of risk. You've got the ability to manage your project finances, so you can truly track your forecast and your actual, maybe against the budget that's been assigned to the project. You can truly manage the resource demand across all the projects. You can see what resources are being committed on various different projects. And by having all of that information in one place, you've then got the ability to pull that information together to overarching, project management reports, where you can see, all the intake, all the projects in delivery. So if I just have a look at project delivery, you can see all the projects in one place at any time. Now, hopefully, that's something that your organisations are also interested in. And if you do have any questions on that, then I'll be happy to kind of provide follow up after this session. Hopefully, our agent has finished, and I've just received a notification on the other screen. So here we've got compare market suppliers for EV charging stations, and if I look in here, it's basically gone through and created some cost estimates based on various different suppliers, that I can then look through and use this as part of the next part of the project. So this is definitely where Microsoft is going, in supporting project managers and getting things done. It's definitely an assistant. It's definitely something that can support you in being more effective within your project management. So this is really what I aim to get through in this webinar. So if anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy to take them now.